Jarrid, good to see you. So just to start off, take a step back. In this shifting market, inflation, salaries are rising. What do you see early stage entrepreneurs doing when it comes to cash burn, when having that capital? It's hard to get, and having it is so important.
It's a great question, and thank you for having me. What we're seeing now is just founders being more prudent. I think particularly with the macro noise and the equity markets dropping, folks may anticipate having a tougher time raising money. But ultimately, things are still pretty good for early stage founders because VC firms raised so much money in the last few years that there's a capital overhang and they still want to invest in great companies. And the picture's also been improving for Black entrepreneurs. While it's still challenging, overall, they're getting closer to parity in terms of fundraising amounts.
Yeah, give me an update on that. I think it was a year ago we had you on when Apple announced that they were putting $10 million to work with you to support your goal of investing in 1,000 companies with diverse founders over the next 20 years. Has that capital been put to work, and what's your strategy?
Thanks for asking. So things have been going pretty well over at Harlem Capital. We started deploying our second fund, which Apple invested in August. We've since made 11 investments. A good chunk have been to Black and brown founders, which has been awesome. We're pretty excited about e-commerce, fintech, software, and Web3. So that capital is definitely being used, and we're going to continue to deploy over the next two years and change.
Hey, Jarrid, something that many CEOs are talking a ton about, and you can say whether it's buzz or not, of course, is the metaverse. And I wonder how you're looking at it, and how does a new technology, new space, something that's expected to be as big as the metaverse, avoid some of the pitfalls that other technologies have seen as they were developed, like artificial intelligence?
It's a great question. We're bullish on the metaverse. We think that people's digital personas are becoming even more important than their in real life personas. Particularly, I think COVID accelerated it. And now you see the rise of NFTs and people being increasingly excited about AR, VR. Oculus sales have been up tremendously in 2021. We think these are all good trends. It's not going to be without bumps. There will be some pitfalls, but ultimately we think that the macro trends are in the right direction as people just have a demand for it. We're more bullish though on Web3. So if you think about blockchain, cryptocurrency, just the amount of opportunity there is to really disrupt the financial system, to make more decentralized kind of software and internet connections work, and actually allow people to have privacy rights. For the first time, you can actually own a piece of the internet and not be beholden to some of these large institutions that have been taking a lot of fees, frankly, from their users.
Jarrid, just qualitatively, perhaps, not expecting hard numbers here, what's your sense of the impact of the pandemic and distancing on underrepresented founders who are trying to find support, et cetera? Because the pitch process is different, happening remotely, perhaps geography less important in some cases. Is that an advantage, a disadvantage?
It's been an advantage for Black and brown founders for sure. So to your point about geography, now that people aren't just living in the Silicon Valley, New York, now they've went to Texas and Florida. There's just more, I guess, open-mindedness about finding entrepreneurs wherever they are. You've also seen Latin America and Africa have a boon for investment. But I think the biggest shift is that people are conducting more business virtually. And as a result, it's easier to get on people's calendars. They're taking net more meetings per day. And with more open-mindedness and more availability, they're giving us a shot. And I think once they actually get in a room with us, they get compelled, and they're more likely to write a check. So we've seen it being a net increase for Black founders.
Well, that is good news. Jarrid Tingle, managing partner at Harlem Capital. Thank you.